What's up, everyone? It's ElDon here, and I want to just talk here for a few minutes because I set out on a journey years ago, and that journey was to be the best possible version of myself, but also along the way just making men and women better at who they are in general. And then also trying to make sure that, whatever organizational goals were in front of the team and I, that we just, absolutely destroyed those goals and set a new standard. And this comes from a variety of different things, and I want to talk a little bit about that. But first, what I owe you is I owe you a couple of things. I owe you a little bit about myself, where I came from, and then I also owe you just some receipts, in order to kind of confirm everything that I'm saying. Because everyone that is looking or hearing someone, speak about certain subjects, they want to know that, the tools and the resources they're laying out, that they're going to be useful. They're going to lead them in the right direction. And one way to verify that is confirmation of, that person found success on their roadmap. So I'm from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Spent majority of my childhood in Fayetteville and a good portion of my adulthood, working, within the military capacity for several years. And just growing up, I always remember just being extremely athletic, always having a hunger to just get out and compete, get out, build some teammates and friendships. I always enjoyed that growing up. But I will also say that, during my childhood, there were times where I did experience trauma. I experienced trauma as a child, and, as an adult, I went through several traumatic events as an adult as well. And I know I'm not alone in that, because I know that the world that we live in, we don't just, skate by without having incidents in our life that, don't have a traumatic impact on us in our lives. But the thing is over time I learned how to deal with the trauma, learned how to heal from the trauma. I learned the cycle of grief that I had to work through each and every time in order to get back on the roadmap or get back on course to that path of success and purpose. And so, that's why I'm before everyone today, is because I want to talk about those things in a way that's meaningful and insightful. As far as the receipts go, I've been in the military for 17 years now, and I will tell you, for the past 10 years, I've been number one on every promotion list. We're over a decade at this point. And I don't necessarily like talking about this stuff, because sometimes it gives people the wrong idea. It gives people the idea that, hey, someone's here just to brag, or someone's here just to, just talk about, themselves. And, that's not the case. But I understand that as people, we need to have a healthy understanding of hey, the person that's talking to us, has some receipt or has some confirmation that the things that they're telling us about are successful. But, for over a decade, every promotion list I've been number one on. And, there's an order of merit list that gets released, and I've been number one on those OMLs, the order of merit list. And then when it comes to academics, every professional academic school that I've been to in the last 10 years, I've had the highest academic score. I finished first in all of those academic courses. And then when you look at, each year, performance evaluation, in the organization that you're working in, on every, rate or comment for the past 10 years, I've been number one out of, 20, or number one out of 10 on each one of those for the past 10 years. And so I can say, just in a way, that the things that I'm talking about, the nuggets that I'm leaving, that they work for a reason. And I never show up to a place like, hey, my goal is to be number one. Number one has never been the goal. Like I talked about a minute ago, the goal has always been, hey, be the best version of myself, and make other people better along the way. Knock out those organizational goals. But, where does all that come from? because for me, it's attached to a lot of different things, right? And some of those things are based off of, the traumatic events that I've experienced. Like I've lost friends. I've lost friends that were killed in combat. I've lost friends that died under their own volition. I've lost friends that died of natural causes. And that's not easy, but a part of me still carries that. Some parts of me are more so that kind of on that line of survivor's remorse, but in a way of like, hey, if so-and-so was still here, here's the kind of impact they will have. If so-and-so was still here, here are the things that they would be doing. And so, when I approach, a new task or a new organization, it's just bringing that kind of energy of like, hey, someone's not here to be able to give the best version of themselves. So that just gives me more reason to give more, to do better. And then also along the way, I've been a part of organizations where the environment is almost like chaos on purpose. That's just the nature of the environment that I've been a part of. And just becoming part of that environment and in a way trying to provide some predictability. Because, I've missed out on special occasions. I was looking back at my first deployment, and I remember I missed out on my first 2 birthdays, deployed during, the height of the surge in Iraq from 2006 to 2008, and several other holidays during that time frame. But over the years, that continued. And so for 17 years, I've missed so many key events. So many times I've had to look my kids in the face and, apologize for not, being able to be there, but trying to find a way to make it up along the way. And so I've gotten to a place where like anybody that, I'm a part of a team with, I'm trying to provide some predictability, because I know the heartache of having to look my kids in the face and saying, hey, sorry, I can't be there. Or having to look my significant other in the face and say, hey, sorry, love, I got to go again. I got to go do X, Y, and Z. And so trying to provide some predictability helps with the overall stability of, the relationship structure. And so just living, through different events has helped me become who I am. And I will tell you that to become the best of the best, it didn't come without a cost. Like it took, many, many tears. It took many, drops of sweat. And I will tell you that, I've lost a lot of time along the way as well. And so, just like, when it comes to war, you see what war looks like on television, and everyone's like, hey, I want to, feel the glory of war. But I can tell you that, war, like in combat, there's nothing, very pretty about that. And I would tell you that the war that we fight when we're fighting a war on purpose, trying to discover our purpose, and then the war we fight to make sure that we stay on the path to our purpose while providing along the way, like that's a war in itself. There are many battles that we have to overcome along the journey. And so I found reason in order to just bring things together from my personal and professional life. And along the way, I found peace in being able to give everything I got into every moment that I have, because we don't know if there's going to be another opportunity. We don't know if there's going to be another moment. Just being in a deployed environment and working along with people and just wanting my friends, my brothers, my sisters to come home to their loved ones, wanting them to, not miss, any more special occasions, not wanting to, have to, look at, a mother, or a father, a brother or a sister, in their face and just, apologize, because there's nothing else that you can do that's going to satisfy, the amount of grief that they're feeling because of their son, no longer being there anymore. And so, that's where I'm coming from. As long as I'm on this earth, I'm not gonna, give minimal effort. I'm not gonna give half effort or half energy. I'm gonna give it everything I got, no matter where I'm at in life, no matter what I'm doing in life, for several different reasons. And then a part of me just, like, I just know that I only have so much time on this earth. We all have so much time, on this earth. And so you just got to make the most of it. And don't get me wrong, I still have fun. I still enjoy the time that I have with my family, but when it comes to the working environment, when it comes to different things that I love, I make sure that I give it the time that it needs. And what I realized along the way is you can't love everyone and you can't love everything the same. Everyone needs something different when it comes to love. And everything needs something different when it comes to time and attention. And so that's the way I approach, my relationships. That's the way I approach, the tasks that I have or the objectives that I'm trying to accomplish. Is that you give it what it needs and you make time for it. Or you give them what they need and you make time for it. Because no one person is the same. No one organization is the same. No one objective is the same. They're all different. And a lot of times, even though they're different, there's a reason to tie your purpose or your why to those things. And along the way, I found my loved ones to be my anchors. My reason for not giving up, my reason to keep on going. I've talked in some of my other videos about moments in time where I just had some real hardships, where I experienced homelessness, where I experienced just, financially just being flat, just broke with nothing. But experiencing moments, like that, experiencing moments where, just sleeping on cold floors, I know that, I will do anything to make sure that my family never experiences anything like that. And so, as I plan things, as I go through things in the future, I'm cognizant of that. I'm always aware of what half energy will get me. I'm always aware of what happens if I don't give my best effort. And so I apply that. And even if you look at some bodies of work that, more people are familiar with, my civilian, kind of role or civilian relationship, photography. Like I set a standard that's just, it's you can't really compare it to anybody else. When I show up, to a session, I show up, I create an environment that's open, that we can create in. We get things done in a timely manner, in a professional manner. And then guess what? In less than 24 hours, whatever we capture during that shoot, I process, I edit, and I return it back in less than 24 hours. Sometimes that's up to 400, photos. Sometimes it's, only 35 or 40 photos. But regardless, I give it the time and energy that it needs. And, I know nobody wants to wait 2 weeks to get photos back. I know nobody wants to wait, really 3 days. And so for me, the standards that I set, in any professional body of work or personal relationship that, I have, there's standards that, a lot of people just can't really compare with. And even, working out and exercising. I remember I had a friend who, years ago was like, man, it must be really fortunate just to be able to run like you do, or to really get the work in the gym like you do. And I laughed and I was like, fortunate? I was like, no, I work my butt off for this. Every second that I gain on a run is because I worked hard for it. It's not because I have some magical gift or anything like that. No, it's because I worked my butt off. And even if you do have a talent or a gift in a certain area, if you really want to be the best at whatever that is, then you've got to apply the work necessary. You can't get away with half energy. You're going to keep hearing me say that because that's an approach that, life deserves. That's an approach that your gift or your talent deserves. That's an approach that, your sacrifices along the journey deserve. The approach of, I'm going to give it everything that I got. Everything. I'm going to lay it all out there. Like I said, the goal was never to be the best of the best. The goal was never to be number one of XYZ. It was always show up, give the best version of myself, make people better along the way, and then crush some organizational goals. Because I don't want to look back and say, hey, so-and-so didn't come home because, I decided I want to go to sleep a little bit early, or, so-and-so, is experiencing this hardship because I made a really bad decision on, X, Y, and Z. Or, just showing up empty-handed to my family and my kids. Like that's never going to be okay in my book. As long as I got breath in my body, my kids are going to know that, hey, your dad did his best to show up every time. And when I wasn't able to show up, I was doing something else that will, hopefully substantiate a legacy that I can leave behind, or create some financial comfort or stability, so we don't have to worry about vacations, or we don't have to worry about, anything in life. And so, there's just some tidbits along the way. And I will tell you also that, I've also kept it 100 with God. Like all my love, like I'm a man after God's own heart. That's always going to be number one for me is always go to him first. And I go to him even during the tough times. And I will tell you that in life, I've experienced more tough times than I have like great times. But my tough times have turned into great times because I've learned how to look at them in a way where I can gain something from it. I can pull back a layer of myself and just say, hey, what's underneath? What did I get from this? Why did I go through, something like this? So instead of asking why something happened, more so asking, okay, well, what can I learn from it? What can I gain from it? And just getting better along the way. And that's all you can ask for, is give your best effort every single time, no matter what the challenge is in life. And then along the way, here's another tidbit, because education is a large portion of that. A lot of people are trying to figure out who they're supposed to be in life. Well, one way to kind of discover that or stumble upon it in a way is formal education or informal education. Formal education obviously being a university that you attend, and just learning in some capacity, or a professional certification. That informal education is just having conversations with different people about different things, being open to some of their ideas and not being afraid to challenge some of their ideas with some of your own ideas. Having a mentor along the way. Like I talk about having a coach, a mentor, a therapist, teachers. Like I've had it all. And I've learned different things over time through all of those incredible resources. And so don't limit yourself with the outreach that you can have by reaching out to someone who can help you, whether they're a mentor, whether they're a teacher, whether they're a therapist, or a coach. And so that's just a little bit about me. That's why I'm out here. And so if I'm talking, to you about something, I'm leaving you nuggets, because we live in a place where I know through my own research and through looking at all the statistics, there's a whole underrepresented population that doesn't have access to the same resources and tools as the top 1%. And I want to change that. Like I've lived amongst the top 1% for many years. And after living amongst that community, I want to offer something back that everyone can have. And it's not costing you anything. I'm just giving it away because I know what it's like in order to stumble upon these things and figure these things out, through sweat, through blood, through many tears, heartache, pain, all of it. And I wear all of those garments to the war that I face on purpose, to the war that I face on legacy and success. And so if you're asking what garment I wear, that's what I wear. I wear it all. And so if you want to find success, I'm here just to drop some tidbits. I love y'all, and I hope that you gain something from this, and I'll be continuing to talk to you over time. Y'all have a blessed one. I'm out.